This video is an introduction to different psychological techniques that I utilise on a daily basis, amongst other techniques, and I hope you find a gem within it that is useful for you. So, welcome to this morning motivational session. And today, I guess I'm thinking about what is it that's motivating me, what's keeping me going, what's driving me towards what I find important, what can I do today to push myself ahead, what is it that I would like to achieve, and how am I going to do it. So it might be simply thinking about, well, what are the different reasons for me to be pushing ahead towards this goal? What is it that I value? What do I find important? What is it that's going to make me want to do this more? So it might be, well, I think it's important that I do this because, I've set that as a task for myself. Or it might be that, I want to show a good example to my children. Or it could also be something like, well, what's it going to feel like when I've finished this, and how am I going to feel in that moment when I've done that and achieved that task or goal? What I tend to do is think about, well, what extra reasons can I create, and what can I think about that's going to be motivational for me? So is it sometimes that, well, am I going to regret not doing this even? So I might motivate myself by the potential negative consequences of me not doing these things. But I'll also think about what's it going to be like when I've actually done it, and why is that super important to me? And then what I'll do is I'll dwell on that for a moment and just really focus my attention on that really important aspect of why it's important to me. And often there's a feeling of determination or motivation might be there, even fleetingly, when thinking about why it's important to you. And it might be just sitting with that a moment and trying to amplify that feeling. So focusing the attention on that brief feeling, even that you feel determined to do something. Or it might even be that you're slightly annoyed by the whole previous failures at this thing, and it might be thinking, well, how do I notice that a little bit and add that to my motivational kind of efforts, and think, well, that really annoyed me and I really want to kind of make sure that doesn't happen again this time, and I really want to get this in the bag. It's really focusing on those positive feelings that come up and really trying to amplify them a little bit and just notice them more. And also, I find that if I go for a walk when doing this kind of exercise and thinking about why I'm motivated to do something, then it tends to help for some reason. And that might well be connected to it kind of getting your body going in the morning, but also some bilateral stimulation from the footsteps as you're walking around. And it might also help you to problem solve any difficulties you have and think about what the next steps are. It's sometimes helpful to really write these things out at a different time and think about, well, what's really important to me? What do I value? And be that you're setting a good example, or be that you want to prove to yourself that you're able to do something. And then it's really bringing that up, that list of reasons why you're doing something in the moment of taking action, and really thinking, well, what is the next little step that I can take towards this? So it might simply be just putting your shoes on. It might be getting your bag ready for the gym, or it might be, filling up your water bottle, or it might simply be turning on your laptop to start work on an essay, or it might be just making yourself a cup of tea or a coffee and contemplating and smelling the cup of tea or coffee and getting into a bit of a routine. The more often that we repeat something and try and kind of create a habit of activity towards our goal, the easier it tends to get. So, for example, this morning I knew that the gym was shut, more than likely until 8 o'clock, but I still went for the walk to the gym, and then walked back, and I got my bag ready for the gym, and I just kind of took that time to contemplate things in the plans for today and think about why it was really important for me to do these things, and kind of work towards these different tasks and goals that I have, and then I walk back. And really what was helpful about that was it really just maintained the habit of going down to the gym in the morning. And it might be that I go down there later when it does open, because I know it opens a bit later today, but it's just kept that kind of habit going of going down there at that particular general time, which is a helpful thing to feel like we're kind of working towards something and kind of maintaining a kind of activity schedule. There is often a benefit to exercising discipline, and going down to the gym even though it wasn't open can kind of help you to reinforce to yourself that you were present, you went and took the walk, you got yourself ready and you went down there. And then really thinking, well, there was benefit to taking the walk anyway, and also it gave me some thinking space, and also gave me a little bit of exercise and some walking and problem solving. And also on that walk, I thought to myself, well, wouldn't it be a good idea to do a little video about what I tend to do in the mornings? Because it might help other people to think about what their morning routine is and how they get motivated in the morning. What I'd also do when I'm thinking about trying to get motivated a little bit would be just appreciating things really, and just having some gratitude for the simple things in life. So that might be simply like taking a drink of water from a bottle and just really noticing how nice it is to drink that water, and if it's nice and cool, and just really appreciating that you've got some water and that you can have a drink and it's nice and clean. And maybe just noticing, that you're alive, and thinking, well, that I am able to go for a walk when I want, that I've got some, clothes that I can wear, that I can hear things as I'm walking around, that I can see things as I'm walking around, and just really the opportunity that you have ahead of you to do different things that you might want to do, or even, the simple things like having something to eat. So it's really just noticing and being grateful for the basic things in life really can then help you to really think, well, actually, I'm coming from a place where I've got my basic needs, and actually I want to step forward from this. When I'm starting the morning routine, it might be that I do notice things like, oh, is my head a bit cloudy, or do I feel that motivated today? But what I tend to do is just let that kind of thought come in and let it pass by a little bit, and then I look for other thoughts and reasons and feelings around why I find it important. And as they come up, then I'll try and focus my attention on those more and try and amplify them. Or in a way, tell myself a story, or start to create a little bit of a visualization, kind of like creating a little video in my head around that reason to do something. So it might, sometimes, even though it sounds quite morbid, it might be thinking, well, what am I going to feel like on my deathbed if I didn't do these things? How's it going to feel if I've wasted time that I could have applied to other things? And, what would I like to feel like way down the line, based on what I decide to do today? Bring up past achievements that you've done, and think about, anything really that you were happy that you did, or you feel that took some effort, and really bring it to the forefront of your mind and think, well, I did that, so how can't, I can easily do this today. And it's really thinking to yourself, well, I managed to do that before, and think about how hard that was and how you managed to do it and what you felt like afterwards. And then think, well, today's a piece of cake, I managed to do that before, so let's crack on and let's get doing it today. What's helpful sometimes is to notice after you've cracked on a little bit and done things that you need to do, just notice how you feel. And just think, that felt good actually, that I've got that in the bag, and maybe, it would feel good again if I got something else in the bag and I feel like I'm making progress towards something here, and really just notice what it feels like to do each and every of those little things that move you towards your goal, and really kind of bask a little bit in what it feels like to have completed something and get it done, and focus on that. Sometimes there can be different things jump in and thoughts around, oh well, I can't do this because of this, or this is a difficulty today, or there's this whole bunch of different tasks and things, and it can be a bit overwhelming. So I guess it's just really thinking, well, what is happening right now? What is happening right now? And actually, I'm just here with my cup of coffee, and actually, the birds are singing outside, and actually, I kind of have a choice right now to just do this or do that, and actually, everything else is going on or needs to be done, but that's fine. And actually, right now, in the here and now, the birds are singing, the coffee's there, I can smell the coffee, and actually, what do I want to do for the next 5 minutes? So it's really bringing the attention back to the present, and really using some grounding if needed. So looking at the different colours and textures of things, and just bringing your attention and focusing it back right on the present, and thinking, well, what do I want to do for the next 5-10 minutes? Or what could I do in the next 20 minutes? And how's that going to be helpful for me or not? And if I did that for the next 10-20 minutes, what's it going to feel like afterwards? And maybe we can reassess in 10-20 minutes what we want to do next. So then, after doing something for however long, then it's really thinking and reassessing, well, what do I want to do next? And it's noticing that you have choice over what you do or don't do. And, there's outcomes to those choices. And sometimes it might be noticing what the outcomes to those choices are. So it's this aspect of noticing that we have choices over what we decide to do in the here and now, to move us towards our goal or not. It's kind of building self-awareness. It's building, present moment focused activities. And then reflecting on what was the outcome to what I decided to do. So if I decided to do X, then what was the outcome to that? If I decided to do Y, then how did I feel afterwards? So in the future, do I want to do more of X, or do I want to do more of Y? And just taking a moment to contemplate that. So often we can get caught up in the daily rush or different thoughts that come in that become ruminations. And so this is around really bringing your self-awareness up and noticing what is the outcome to different things that you do, and whether or not you would like to repeat those things or do something different and try something new that might feel a bit better. Intermittently, if feeling a bit tired or demotivated, it might be just taking a break for 5 minutes and just thinking, right, let me rehydrate myself, get a drink of water, let's just get a cup of tea, and let's really think about, well, what do I want to do for the next 15-20 minutes? What's going to progress me towards what I want to get done? Or what is it that is going to, not progress me towards what I want to get done? And I have a free choice right now to do what I like. And actually, it's noticing that free choice. It might be that you want to take a moment out and just sit somewhere and just contemplate that, and then think, well, right, I'm going to take this moment out. Might be 3 or 5 minutes, might be 10 minutes. And it's thinking, well, taking these little reflective moments is really helpful to reorientate yourself to what you want to do in the next hour or two, or even the next half an hour, or even that afternoon. And it's thinking, well, I plan to do this then. And so then setting about what the first steps of that are. One of the least talked about but most effective things can be utilising music, which can affect your mood quite dramatically over a very short period of time. So it might be just pulling up some of your favourite tracks and just noticing how they make you feel, and then thinking, should I make a little playlist of my most favourite tunes that put me in a positive mindset? And really noticing which tunes do the opposite and make you feel a bit down or demotivated, or maybe even angry. So it's really just noticing which tunes give you the most benefit and then listening to them a little bit more maybe. Also, you could utilize bilateral stimulation music, which has got the alternating tones in it from one ear to the other, wearing headphones, which can also help you problem solve things. One side of this is to really notice and tell yourself well done for everything that you're doing. And that can be quite regularly, and I think it's good to have a positive self-talk going on and say to yourself, well, that's good. I just, put my shoes on and went out the door. Or it might be, oh, well, that's good. I've got this goal to not have lots of sugar in my coffee, so I had a black coffee this morning with nothing in it, and that was good. That was a good choice. And it might be just kind of amplifying these good choices that you're making, or ones that work towards your goal, and thinking, well, that was really good, and commending yourself for that, doing some positive self-talk. But also, it can be good to notice positive things that are going on in the world around you. So that might be when you're out on your walk, you see somebody going for a run. And it might be just thinking, well, they're doing such a good job. Well done them for going out for a run, Or it might just be noticing somebody that's coming back from a long shift somewhere, maybe a nurse or something that's just finished their shift, they look pretty tired, and think, well done them, they've just had a hard shift and put in the graft, and good job to them. And then also thinking about opportunities to do some positive self-talk for yourself as well, and thinking, well, what am I happy about that I've done over the last wee while, and how can I do more of that? And it's just taking the opportunity to be more present moment focused as you're going about this day that you're having, noticing the here and now more, bringing your attention back into a more present moment focused awareness. And that can be noticing things around you, things you can smell, things you can hear, things you can touch, and things you can taste, so drink of water or coffee or whatever. And just really orientating yourself to the here and now when there's a lot going on in the world or in your world, and just thinking, well, I'm here in the here and now. What's my next task to do, or what would I like to do next? It might be that you want to take 10 minutes out and just do a bit of mindfulness, and that's fine. And it might just be then after doing that bit of mindfulness saying to yourself, good job, I'm looking after myself, and that's going to help me do other things later today or tomorrow. And that's going to have a positive impact as well. So it doesn't always have to be something that's, driving towards something that's active. It could be just a moment that you take for yourself to bring your awareness back to the present and de-stress and reduce your anxiety, which then will help you to think clearly. And also noticing that you have choices all throughout the day to do what you'd like, really, and then noticing how you feel afterwards. I hope you enjoyed this little video about how to keep motivated and how to look after yourself and how to keep on track with what you want to do. And I really hope you can utilize some of the techniques and ideas out of this. And I wish you best of luck with all of your goals and what you're working towards. This is the bit where we ask you to like and subscribe the video. And so if you did enjoy it and found it helpful, please drop a like and subscribe.